Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Halcyon Blink and your PWT World Heavyweight Champion, Lorne Risley. Welcome. On this episode, I'm going to be talking about a film that took me a long time to like, despite the fact that I am a tremendous fan of the franchise like you wouldn't believe. Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Yes, everyone's done a review on this because of the hype that came out, along with it when it was released. But the fact is, it took me a long time to lament this film because I've got to be honest, when I watched it in the cinema, I was busting for a wee.
Oh, this is awkward.
So I half was invested, half was like, oh my God, I really wish this ends. And I'll be honest, it meant that me as a viewer, that last scene, spoilers, that last scene with Luke Skywalker at the end, I really hated that scene. God, I hated that scene because it was so pointless and so self-serving and so needlessly vague and ambiguous and, fan service. No! I'm sorry. It just didn't make any sense whatsoever, and it left me with a really bad impression of the film in my head.
Two hours later.
Fast forward about 2-3 months later when the thing comes out on DVD, I'm standing in the co-op and I go, oh yeah, well, I'll have a watch of it. Watch it again. And having had a chance to kind of assume and assimilate a lot of other people's opinions about it being a New Hope or a New Hope, Empire and Jedi rolled into one, you can understand why people were frustrated, elated, all the rest of that good jazz. Here's the thing though, Star Wars as a franchise repeats itself on a fairly consistent basis. Not just in the films. The fact that we've had now 3 attempts at building a planet-sized laser, and no one seems to figure out that that may be not a good idea. Maybe invest your resources in other things that aren't quite so easy to blow up in one hit.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
Anyway, I digress on the Empire's strategic army strategies. Anyway, the point is that in Knights of the Old Republic you see a lot of the same things. You've got a giant star forge that produces factories. It isn't a weapon, it's a factory, but the thing is still the same. It's a big orb that's got spires in the sky. You have a chosen one, someone that comes out of nowhere, obscurity, that becomes the most powerful, the greatest hope or the greatest threat to the galaxy. You have light side, you have good side, you have people die who you don't want to. This film franchise is no different than the rest of the lore of Star Wars, in that they often recycle old ideas but try to give them to you in new ways. And I, looking back, think that Star Wars The Force Awakens is still probably one of the best Star Wars films, without doubt, because they stuck to what they did best. They invested in the right characters, they brought the right characters in and had the right kind of likability, darkness, all that good jazz. Rey's character is brilliant, albeit it's telegraphed. She's going to be someone's daughter. If it's not Snoke, it will be Obi-Wan. If it's not Obi-Wan, it will be Luke. If it's not Luke, she'll be Kylo Ren's twin sister or something along those lines, and we'll all see it coming and we all won't be shocked. But that's not the point. The point is that Star Wars do this all the time. Big reveals in Star Wars that you should have seen coming a mile off are kind of part and parcel of what Star Wars is all about. Again, lightsaber fights. Again, starship battles. Meeting aliens on strange planets and cantinas. The fact is that this film didn't do anything that the previous Star Wars films did anyway. that you should have expected them to do. The question really is, did it do them well? And the answer is yes. So people that give Star Wars The Force Awakens a hard time because it copied too much of A New Hope or Empire or Jedi, A New Hope in the sense that there's a young protagonist in a desert somewhere longing to go to the stars, Empire because of the big reveal of, oh, he's your father, and then in Jedi with someone dying that we didn't want to because, you know, we all liked him and all the rest of it. But the fact is that this film encapsulated a franchise in one film, and to be honest, I think it deserves credit for that, because it satiated the needs and wants of a bunch of different people who wanted a bunch of different things from their Star Wars film. So the producers did the only clever thing they could do, which is just stick to what they knew what was best. Some of the things that are great about the film, let's just go right to it. The bit where Rey pulls the lightsaber past Kylo Ren and just wham, and proceeds to throw down on his punk ass. It's nonsensical, it doesn't make a f***ing lick of sense, but I can't say I didn't pop for it. I, like everyone else, was sitting in the theatre going, so Finn's got to step up now, he's got to prove he's the man. We already knew Rey was Force sensitive by this point because she'd already demonstrated the fact that she could use the Force with Daniel Craig Stormtrooper. Bet you didn't know that was him. The fact is that she demonstrated the powers, but then Finn, you know, with the lightsaber, and then he gets straight up sliced down the back. Now that, for Star Wars, is really quite... We've lost hands, we've lost heads, we've had impalements, but spine, that's MK-ish right there. They did not pull any punches, it was great.
That lightsaber, it belongs to me. Come get it.
A few moments later.
And then for Rey to just step up, nonsensical as it is to say, oh, well, she was channeling the Force. Bullshit. If you know anything about Star Wars, you don't just pick up a lightsaber and start fighting with it. It takes years and years of practice, no matter how Force sensitive you are. You need to practice the Jedi arts in order to get good at it. That's why they had an academy. Anyway, point being, this film franchise relied on it getting kick-started again by Disney, so they couldn't afford to take any missteps. And having Rey as a strong female protagonist is an absolutely magnificent idea. John Boyega is a great acting addition, irrespective of whether or not he's a Jedi. Who cares? He'll be a great Lando Calrissian / Han Solo melded into one, if that's what you want to call him. Personally, I think he's actually closer to a few other characters that are in the Knights of the Old Republic series than he is in anyone in the films, just because of how he's not cowardly, but he certainly knows his limitations, and I like that about the character. He's not the first one to charge in and save the day. He will sometimes go, maybe this isn't a good idea, maybe we should perhaps run. It's a refreshing take from people just barreling in all the time going, yeah, let's do it, man. No, humans don't do that. They're more rational than that sometimes. BB-8, I get it, merch. I think he's a stupid design. I think it makes no fucking sense, but whatever. Having R2 turn up at the end of the film, C-3PO's red arm, okay. Leia and Han having their moment, which again is only poignant now because of the unfortunate and untimely death of Carrie Fisher. The fact is that this is probably one of the best Star Wars films, but it doesn't crack my top 3. For me, it still goes Empire, then Rogue One. It's a really good film. Have you seen it? You should go see it. And then Jedi. Sorry, but those are the three for me. But this is a solid fourth. I think personally it's better than A New Hope, because I think A New Hope, it's great, but I think it lacks somewhat of urgency sometimes, and now the graphics are a bit too dated. And then it goes the prequels. Phantom Menace, then Revenge of the Sith, and then Twilight with lightsabers. Oh, and if you really need to know if this film is bad or not, just watch Attack of the Clones again, but don't watch the bit where Yoda throws down. Just imagine that bit doesn't exist in the film. It's truly terrible. As a film though, it's probably a 7. I'm gonna be harsh on it, and I'll tell you why. Star Wars has a legacy for being truly awe-inspiring. A franchise that I've never been invested more in, when you're knee-deep in the story and then suddenly something happens and it really punctuates and sits with you for a while. The problem is the film had the opportunity to do this in Kylo Ren's reveal, but they did it way too early. It turns out Kylo Ren is Ben Solo, spoiler alert! But the problem is they reveal it in a very haphazard way. They should negate the middle section when they say, it's captained by the Millennium Falcon, Han Solo, and then just leave it at that. And they said, Han Solo, he will be ours. Right, just leave it at that. Why does he have to go, your father, Han Solo? Why there? The emotional impact of Han's death, again, spoiler alert, at the end by Kylo Ren, his own son, would have been so much more impactful if he just turned up. It's like, I need to speak to him. Why? Why does Han Solo need to speak to him? Ben! Holy shit, he's Ben Solo.
Ben!
Han Solo. I've been waiting for this day for a long time.
Take off that mask. You don't need it.
What do you think you'll see if I do?
The face of my son.
A few moments later.
Thank you.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
It would have been so much more. And the Han Solo death I liked because it did have all the emotional impact that was perhaps lacking from the Revenge of the Sith and Attack of the Clones because of just the enormity of both of those films. But I still felt that moment, the payoff from it was already spent when Snoke revealed, you know, who he was. The real only two mysteries left in the franchise are, who is Snoke? How did he amass the First Order? We all know it's remnants from the Empire, but there's that, and then there's also Rey, the mystery behind Rey. And I'm sure they'll interject some new characters which will have their own story arcs and moments of intrigue. But the big question now is Rey someone's daughter? If so, whose? And how powerful is she going to be? The Last Jedi, the next film in the franchise, which I believe is due out this December, is actually going to bring back Mark Hamill. So he's actually going to do something in this film, which is just great. And he's come out and said that he disagrees fundamentally with everything that they're doing with his character. So it should be interesting to see what the ramifications of the Last Jedi title actually mean in terms of the fact that it's got red letters. Does that mean Luke has turned to the dark side, will turn to the dark side? Is Kylo Ren gonna try and turn Rey? Or, you know, there's all sorts of ramifications about what the Last Jedi means in terms of, is it the last of the Jedi? Are we talking about training the Last Jedi? Reading into it too much is just going to spend so much time that's wasted because we're going to see it in 7 months. So let's just wait and see. As a film, like I said, it's a 7 out of 10. It's a quintessential Star Wars film though, so if you've never seen it, but you've seen some of the original Star Wars films, or even if you've never seen a Star Wars film before and you need a good base level to get into, this film is great. So go check it out. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Halcyon Blink. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good jazz. As I've mentioned in some of my other videos recently, please check out some of the content creators that are in the description below. GFY Productions, BBK Smasher, my boy Crow, Zombie Playground, Megalicious, Melgius. I can never pronounce your name, dude. I'm really apologize, but his link is in the description below. He's a great YouTuber as well. Oh, and Ninja. Ninja, my boy. He's a really good YouTuber. You need to go check him out. I haven't plugged him enough recently, but he's putting out some really good content recently as well. So please go and check him out. Also, Cinematic Venom's channel. I'm on there now. I've done 3 videos. I'm going to be releasing more as the weeks go on. But we really need your support over there at Cinematic Venom. We've got like 700 subscribers. But not that many views. So if anyone is checking out these reviews on Cinematic Venom, if I happen to release it on Cinematic Venom, I don't know. I kind of do whatever I want. Then please make sure you're sharing this with your friends. Make sure you're getting people to watch and supporting the show so that we can grow and give you the kind of content that you want to watch, okay? We can't grow unless you show us how, and we really want you to get involved. That sounded insincere. I wanted it to sound sincere. Never mind. I've never been the most sincere individual. I'm wearing a t-shirt with my own show's name on it. Anyway, point being, thank you very much for watching this episode. Please like, share, and subscribe. Take care of yourselves. I have been your PWT Heavyweight Champion of the world. Please like, share, and subscribe. And be jealous. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you guys in the next episode of Halcyon Blink.